Hello everybody, this is the lecture number 7 in the course of cyber security for beginners. This lecture about emerging threats, and we have to consider only two techniques or two emerging techniques, IoT and cloud computing. So we'd like to highlight the security risks for both of these emerging technology. We know that the rapid adoption of the Internet of Things and cloud computing has revolutionized technology, and this advancement introduced significant cybersecurity challenges for IoT devices with their interconnected nature and cloud platforms, which is hosting sensitive data, are attractive to targeted by the cyber criminals. So therefore, we have to understand these emerging threats, and we have to be safeguard using the modern digital ecosystems. This is the foundation of IoT and cloud computing. We know that the Internet of Things means that, or refer to the network of interconnected devices. Just for example, smart home, gadgets, wearables, mobile phone, industrial sensors, all are connected, or for example cars, and these sensors usually collecting data and sharing data, while cloud computing offers on-demand access to computing resources and digital storage, mainly used for data storage. It enhances the efficiency and scalability. It also presents unique security challenges because it includes sensitive data. So therefore, these techniques or these technologies drive innovation, but at the same time, of course, very useful, but at the same time introduce security challenges. Let's start with the IoT security risks. One of them, the weak authentication and passwords. And many devices or many IoT devices comes with default passwords, and the users usually, or most of the time, I think according to some of the studies, around 60% fail to change the default password. For example, like in the Mira botnet attack, I think it's already known almost by everybody. They exploit IoT devices with default credentials, so using them to launch massive distributed denial of service means that the connected already stops. So this is what we call it the DOS attack. The second one, lack of regular updates. Usually IoT devices often lack firmware updates, either was maybe wireless or far away, and leaving themselves vulnerable to exploit. For example, an outdated smart thermostat was hacked to gain access to home network. The third one, device spoofing and unauthorized access. Like for example, attackers can impersonate IoT device to infiltrate networks. For example, a hacker makes a smart security camera to extract video feeds or stored through the network. The last one, the massive attack surface. Here, the sheer number of IoT devices increases potentially, and the entry points for attackers. For example, a cyber criminal targets IoT-enabled medical devices, so maybe victimize or sacrifice the patient's safety. So therefore, we have to take measures to avoid all these attacks, which we call it mitigation strategy. Number one, for IoT, maybe the default password should be, changed or implement a strong authentication method. Usually, the networks ask you to, or ask the user to use upper small letter, capital letter, mixed with the numbers, and sometimes mixed with signs also. Also, we have to regularly update the software and firmware and security patches. Of course, we know that nowadays the anti-virus or security, there are so many softwares. Even the Windows itself has defense software also. The third measure we may use, segment IoT device on separate networks to reduce the risk of lateral movement in case of breach. Means that if we have many IoT connected networks, so maybe we can divide them or classify them to zones and isolate them to avoid effect of all. Maybe some of them will be affected, but not necessarily all. Let's move to the cloud security risk. So there are so many also risks here. One of them, the data breaches. We know that the cloud computing usually used for to store data. So maybe unauthorized access to sensitive data stored in the cloud. Just for example, in 2019, a breach in major cloud provider exposed millions of personal records due to the improperly configured storage buckets. Also, the misconfigured cloud storage, like for example errors in setting up a cloud environment, may lead to unintended data exposure. Just example here, a global retailer accidentally left sensitive customers' data publicly accessible due to the misconfigured Amazon S3 bucket. The third one, the insider threats, like for example malicious or negligent cloud users compromise security or doesn't care much about security. Here an example, for example, an employee downloads sensitive company files from the cloud and leaked them to other party or third party. The number 4, shared responsibility model misunderstanding. Also, when you have two users or two maybe admin or may have the same security. So maybe also sometimes in many organizations assume cloud providers handle all security aspects, which is not true. Means that don't depend on the cloud security alone. So we have to take your measures also. Like for example, a company neglected to secure its cloud application, assuming that the provider was responsible, but somehow leading to a successful attack. Then how to avoid all this? So we have to have mitigation strategy, like for example, the encrypt sensitive data, both in transmit and reset or send and receive. Also use cloud native security tools to monitor and protect data. Also maybe you can conduct regular audit to ensure proper configuration and compliance with security best practice. As a conclusion, IoT and cloud emerging technology have become integral to our daily life and business. However, their vulnerability exposes individuals, persons, and organizations to sophisticated cyber threats. So addressing these emerging risks require proactive security measures such as strong authentication, data encryption, and regular audit, or combination of all these. Maybe also user awareness and advanced security tools is essential to mitigate the growing challenge or risk posed by IoT and cloud security risk. Staying safe in the digital world. That's it for this lecture. Thank you.